The hotel receipt is still warm. Sophie's hand shakes as she reads it. Presidential suite. 2 nights. $4,500. The date jumps out, October 15th to 17th. The same weekend Jason said he was in Singapore. She's standing in their penthouse bedroom, marble floors, $1,000,000 view of Manhattan, and suddenly the luxury feels like a cage. The receipt smells like jasmine perfume. Not hers. But this receipt is nothing compared to what Sophie's about to find in his phone.
We'll get through this.
Sophie? Jason's voice cuts through her thoughts. You're home early? She turns. Her husband fills the doorway in his Tom Ford suit, CEO's smile perfectly in place. The smile that built a $50 million company. The smile that made her fall in love 8 years ago. She turns. Her husband fills the doorway, 6 feet of polished confidence in a Tom Ford suit. His dark hair is perfectly styled, his smile easy. CEO smile. Camera-ready smile. The smile that made her fall in love 8 years ago. But his eyes flicker to the receipt in her hand. Just for a second. Then the smile widens. What's that? He moves closer, cologne and lies trailing behind him. You tell me. Her voice is steady. She's surprised by that. Inside, her chest is caving in, ribs cracking under the weight of 8 years of perfect wife crumbling to dust. Jason glances at the receipt. His jaw tightens. That's from a client meeting. Which client books the presidential suite for meetings? Sophie. Which client wears jasmine perfume? The silence stretches. Outside, the city glitters with 1,000,000 lights, 1,000,000 lives that aren't falling apart in slow motion. Sophie's reflection stares back from the darkened window. Blonde hair perfectly blown out, yoga-toned body in designer athleisure, diamond tennis bracelet catching the light. She looks like success. She looks like someone who has everything. She looks like a woman who's been lying to herself. It's not what you think. Jason's hand reaches for her shoulder. She steps back. The space between them feels like an ocean. Then what is it? His phone buzzes. What? Twice. 3 times. He doesn't reach for it, but his eyes dart toward the sound. Sophie knows that look. The same look he's had for months during their supposed date nights. When his phone lights up with messages, he angles away from her view. Jason. Her voice cracks now. 8 years of holding everything together, and this is where it breaks. Who is she? There's no one. Don't lie to me. The words rip out of her throat. The receipt falls from her hand, floating down like a white flag of surrender. Jason's phone buzzes again. This time, Sophie moves faster. She grabs it from the counter, swipes it open. No password, he's never hidden it from her before, another small cruelty, and there it is. Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again. B. The message sits above dozens of others. Weeks of others. Months. Sophie looks up at her husband. The man she supported through 18-hour workdays and board meetings and hostile takeovers. The man she gave up her own career for, her own dreams, because his success was their success. The man who looks at her now like she's the inconvenience. How long? She whispers. Jason's silence is the only answer she needs. Have you ever ignored the red flags because facing the truth felt too painful? Keep listening. Sophie's about to discover that sometimes the hardest battles are the ones that set you free. Sophie's fingers scroll through the messages. Each one is a knife. Miss your lips. That thing you do drives me crazy. When can we meet again? Her stomach lurches. She runs to the bathroom, barely making it before she retches. Nothing comes up but bile and broken promises. The marble floor is cold against her knees. She hears Jason behind her. Sophie, please. Get out. Her voice echoes off the pristine white tiles. Let me explain. Get out. He leaves. The door closes with a soft click. Even in crisis, Jason is careful. Controlled. CEO-level crisis management. Sophie sits on the bathroom floor for 20 minutes. Maybe 30. Time moves differently when your world is ending. The underfloor heating warms her skin, but she's shaking. Her reflection in the mirror shows a stranger. Mascara-streaked cheeks, red-rimmed eyes, lips bitten raw. When did she become this woman? When did she become someone who needed proof to believe what her gut had been screaming for months? She thinks back. 3 months ago, Jason came home smelling of different soap. New gym, he'd said. She believed him. 6 months ago, lipstick on his collar. Kissed a colleague's cheek at the party, he'd explained. She believed him. A year ago, scratches on his back. Rough massage, he'd laughed. She believed him. No, that's a lie. She hadn't believed him. She'd chosen not to know. Sophie stands. Her legs wobble, but she forces them steady. She walks back to the bedroom. Jason sits on their bed, Their bed where they've slept together for 8 years, where she'd imagined growing old with him, head in his hands. How many? She asks. Sophie. How many? His shoulders slump. Does it matter? Yes. 3. He looks up. His eyes are wet. Crocodile tears are real ones. She can't tell anymore. 3 different women. Over 2 years. 2 years. While she was planning their anniversary trips. While she was supporting his acquisition deals. While she was playing the perfect CEO's wife at charity galas and board dinners. Why? The word cracks in half. Jason stands, moves toward her. The pressure, Sophie. The company, the board, the constant performance expectations. So you performed with other women? He flinches. Good. Let him feel a fraction of this pain. I never meant to hurt you. His voice is soft. Practiced. How many times has he used this voice to close deals? You're my wife. I love you. No. Sophie shakes her head. You love what I represent. The stability. The image. The perfect life for your perfect career. That's not true. Her phone buzzes. She glances at it. A text from an unknown number. Ask him about the apartment on Park Avenue. The one he pays for. A concerned friend. Sophie's blood turns to ice. You have an apartment? Jason's face drains of color. Answer me. It's not, it's just, he's scrambling now. It's for business. Sometimes I need a place to fuck other women? She's never used that word with him. Never needed to. The vulgarity of it hangs in the air like smoke. Jason reaches for her. Sophie, please. Let me. She slaps his hand away. Don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. She thought she knew the depth of his betrayal. She was wrong. The real horror is just beginning, and it involves a secret that will shatter everything. Keep listening to witness the moment Sophie's entire reality collapses. The Park Avenue apartment sits on the 15th floor. Sophie stands outside the door at 11 p.m., her Uber idling below because some part of her knows she won't want to stay long. She found the address easily. Jason keeps meticulous records. It's what makes him a brilliant CEO. It's also what makes him a terrible liar. His cloud storage open with the password he's used for everything, her birthday. The irony tastes like rust. The key is in her pocket. She found it in his desk drawer labeled PA. She'd assumed it meant personal assistant. How stupid. How willfully blind. Sophie unlocks the door. The apartment breathes wealth. Hardwood floors. Modern furniture. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Central Park. There's a bottle of champagne in an ice bucket. Melted now, room temperature. 2 glasses, lipstick stain on one rim. She walks through slowly. Each step is an archaeological dig through her marriage's corpse. The bedroom makes her knees buckle. Photos on the nightstand. Not of her. Of Jason and a brunette woman, maybe 25, beautiful in that effortless way that comes from youth and ignorance. They're at a beach. A restaurant. His office. His office. Sophie picks up one frame. The woman is laughing, Jason's arm around her waist. He looks happy. Genuinely happy. The way he used to look with Sophie before his career and their future became the only things that mattered. The bathroom reveals more horrors. Women's toiletries. High-end makeup. Birth control pills prescribed to Vanessa Chen. Vanessa. The closet holds designer dresses. Size 2. Jewelry in a velvet box. A necklace that costs more than Sophie's first car. This isn't an affair. This is a second life. Sophie sits on the bed, their bed, and something inside her finally, irrevocably breaks. Not her heart. That broke hours ago. This is deeper. This is the death of the woman who thought love meant sacrifice. Who thought loyalty would be rewarded. Who thought if she just tried hard enough, gave enough, was enough. Her phone rings. Jason's name lights up the screen. She answers. Where are you? His voice is tight with panic. Sophie, please come home. We can talk about this. How long has Vanessa lived here? Silence. Heavy. Damning. 14 months, he finally whispers. 14 months. Sophie does the math. Their 7th anniversary was 14 months ago. Jason gave her a diamond necklace, different from the one in Vanessa's jewelry box, but from the same jeweler. He probably bought them on the same day. Bulk discount on betrayal. I want a divorce. Sophie, no. I'm not asking permission. Her voice is dead calm. Shock maybe. Or clarity. I'll have my lawyer contact yours tomorrow. Sophie, please. Now he's crying. Really crying. She can hear it, the desperation, the panic. Don't do this. I made mistakes, but I love you. I'll end it with Vanessa. I'll end everything. Just come home. Please come home. This apartment is home, Jason. Our penthouse is just a set piece. That's not true. You've been living a double life for over a year. You maintained an entire relationship while coming home to me, sleeping next to me, telling me you loved me. Her voice cracks. How do I trust anything you say? I'll prove it. I'll do anything. Therapy. Counseling. Whatever you need. Sophie looks at the photos again. Jason's face so happy with someone else. I need you to let me go. No. Jason. No. He's shouting now. I won't lose you. I won't. You're my wife. You're everything to me. I'm convenient to you. There's a difference. She hangs up, turns off her phone, sits in the silence of her husband's secret life and lets herself finally, fully grieve. The woman she was died today. The woman she'll become is still taking shape in the ruins. But she knows one thing with absolute certainty. She's done being Jason Miller's safety net while he free falls with other women. Sophie stands, walks to the dresser, opens drawers, finds a dozen handwritten notes. Can't wait to see you. You make me feel alive. Thank you for last night. She photographs everything. Every note. Every photo. Every piece of evidence. Not for revenge. For armor. Because she knows men like Jason. They rewrite history. They make themselves the victim. Not this time. Sophie leaves the apartment, locks the door, and drops the key down the trash chute in the hallway. She calls her best friend Rachel. I need a place to stay. What happened? I'm leaving Jason. Rachel doesn't ask questions. Come over. I'll make up the guest room. In the Uber, Sophie watches Manhattan blur past. Somewhere in this city, Jason is panicking. Calling. Texting the phone she's turned off. Maybe even driving around looking for her. Let him feel a fraction of the fear she's lived with. The fear that she wasn't enough. That she'd never be enough. Because now she knows the truth. It was never about being enough for Jason. It's about being enough for herself. Sophie just walked away from everything she knew. But leaving is only the beginning. What happens when Jason realizes what he's lost? 3 weeks later, Sophie signs the lease on a studio apartment in Brooklyn. 450 square feet. No doorman. No marble. No lies. It's perfect. The movers arrive with the boxes she packed from the penthouse. Jason was in Singapore for real this time, convenient for both of them. She took only what was hers. Clothes, books, her grandmother's jewelry, photos from before the marriage. Everything else felt contaminated. Rachel helps unpack. You sure you don't want the couch? It was yours before you married him. He can keep it. Sophie arranges books on a shelf. I want everything here to be new. Clean. How's the divorce proceeding? Ugly. Sophie sighs. His lawyers are claiming I abandoned the marriage. Mine are claiming serial infidelity. It's a mess. Good thing you have those photos. Sophie had sent everything to her lawyer, the apartment, the receipts, the messages. Jason's legal team went quiet after that. Hard to claim abandonment when your client maintained a full second household. Her phone buzzes. Another voicemail from Jason. She has 47 now. She hasn't listened to any of them. He's outside again, Rachel says, peering out the window. That's the third time this week. Sophie doesn't look. She knows Jason's car is parked across the street. Black Mercedes. Tinted windows. He sits there for hours waiting for, what? Her to run back? To forgive? To forget? Should I call the cops? He's not breaking any laws. Sophie tapes up another box. Let him sit. Maybe he'll get bored. But Jason doesn't get bored. Over the next days, the campaign intensifies. Flowers arrive, 3 dozen red roses with a card. I'm sorry. Please talk to me. Sophie gives them to her neighbor. More flowers the next day. She donates them to a nursing home. Letters start appearing under her door. Handwritten. Pages and pages of apologies and promises and I love you and I can't live without you. Sophie reads one. Just one. Sophie, I know I destroyed everything. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I'm not giving up. You're the love of my life. I was stupid, selfish, and blind. I took you for granted because I thought you'd always be there. I see now how wrong I was. Please just talk to me. Let me show you I've changed. I fired Vanessa. I sold the apartment. I'm in therapy twice a week. I'm doing everything you asked. Please give me a chance to prove I'm not the man who hurt you. Jason. Sophie puts the letter in a drawer with the others. Unread. Unanswered. Rachel finds her that night on the fire escape, staring at the Brooklyn skyline. It's not as impressive as Manhattan from the penthouse, But it's earned. It's hers. You okay? I started my consulting business today. Sophie holds up her laptop. First client signed. Small marketing firm, but it's a start. Sophie, that's amazing. I forgot how good it feels. Sophie's eyes shine. To work. To use my brain. To be me again, not just Jason's wife. You gave up a lot for him. I gave up everything. Sophie's voice is soft. My career. My friends, I stopped seeing people because Jason's schedule was so demanding. My hobbies. My dreams. I became so small trying to fit into his big life. And now I'm remembering how to be big again. They sit in silence. Below, the city pulses with life. People living, loving, leaving, starting over. Sophie is just one story among millions. But it's her story now. Her phone buzzes. Jason again. This time she blocks the number. Sophie is building a new life, but Jason isn't giving up. When he shows up with a confession that changes everything, she'll have to decide. Is redemption possible, or is some betrayal too deep to heal? Sophie is coding a client website when her buzzer rings. She's not expecting anyone. Rachel has a key. Her lawyer emails. Yes. She presses the intercom. Sophie, please. 5 minutes. Jason's voice crackles through the speaker. I'm not leaving until you talk to me. She should say no. Should call the cops for harassment. Should maintain the boundaries she's built like walls around her healing heart. Instead, 5 minutes. She buzzes him up, immediately regretting it. What is she doing? But some part of her needs this. Needs to look him in the eye and confirm that leaving was right. Jason appears at her door looking like hell. His suit is wrinkled. His hair is messy. There are dark circles under his eyes that no amount of expensive skincare can hide. Thank you, he says, for seeing me. Sophie doesn't invite him in. They stand in the doorway, 3 feet of distance between them that feels like miles. Your 5 minutes start now. Jason takes a breath. When he speaks, his voice is raw. I've been going to therapy. Dr. Morrison on West 73rd. Twice a week, like I said in my letters. Good for you. She asked me when I fell in love with you. I told her about the day we met. That coffee shop in Soho, you were reading Kafka and drinking a matcha latte, and you looked up when I asked if the seat was taken and just smiled. Like I was worth smiling at. Sophie remembers. She was 24. He was 27 and already climbing the corporate ladder. They talked for 4 hours. She missed 2 classes. She didn't care. Dr. Morrison asked when I fell out of love with you. Jason's eyes are wet. I told her I never did. And that's when she asked the question that broke me. What question? If I never fell out of love with you, why did I treat you like I did? Sophie's chest tightens. She doesn't want to care. Doesn't want his therapy revelations to matter. But they do. What did you tell her? The question slips out. The truth. Jason's voice cracks. That I took you for granted. That I got so caught up in being successful that I forgot success meant nothing without you. That the affairs weren't about not loving you, they were about not loving myself. About filling the emptiness I felt every time I chose work over you, money over us, image over truth. That's a cop-out, Jason. No. It's the truth. I sabotaged us because I didn't believe I deserved you. And instead of talking to you about it, instead of being vulnerable, I ran to women who didn't know me well enough to see my failures. Sophie leans against the doorframe. This is the conversation she needed 8 years ago. Before the affairs. Before the lies. Before she lost herself. You destroyed me, she whispers. I know. You made me question everything. My worth. My judgment. Whether I was enough. I know. And now you want me to what? Forgive you because you're in therapy? No. Jason shakes his head. I want you to know that I finally see you. Really see you. Not as my wife or my support system or the woman I took for granted. But as Sophie. The woman who gave up her dreams to support mine. Who loved me when I didn't deserve it. Who had the strength to leave when I thought you never would. Jason. I don't deserve another chance. His voice breaks completely. But I love you. I'm in love with you. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving it, whether you take me back or not. Sophie looks at the man she married. The man who broke her. The man who's standing in her doorway, broken himself. Your 5 minutes are up, she says quietly. Sophie. Goodbye, Jason. She closes the door. Leans against it. Hears his footsteps receding. Hears the elevator ding. Hears the silence of her small, honest apartment. And for the first time since she left, Sophie cries. Not because she wants him back, but because she finally mourns the woman who loved him, the woman who believed love was enough. It wasn't. But maybe, just maybe, she's learning what is. Jason finally understands what he lost. But understanding and earning forgiveness are two different things. Sophie stands at a crossroads, and what happens next will determine not just their future, but who she becomes. Sophie meets him at a gallery opening in Chelsea. His name is Daniel Park, and he's everything Jason isn't. Quiet where Jason is loud. Thoughtful where Jason is impulsive. Present where Jason was always absent. What do you think of this piece? Daniel gestures to a massive abstract painting, reds and blacks swirling like chaos contained. It looks like my marriage. The words slip out before Sophie can stop them. Daniel doesn't flinch. Divorce. Getting there. Sophie sips her wine. You. Widower. 3 years ago. Cancer. The air shifts. Sophie's problems suddenly feel small, selfish. I'm sorry. Don't be. Daniel's smile is sad but genuine. She taught me that life's too short for anything less than honest love. I'm still figuring out what that means. They talk for 2 hours. About art and loss and starting over. Daniel runs a non-profit for underprivileged youth. He lives in a modest apartment in Queens. He doesn't wear designer suits or flash wealth or check his phone every 5 minutes. When they part, he asks for her number. Sophie hesitates, then gives it. The next morning, flowers arrive at her apartment. Not roses. Sunflowers. Bright and honest and simple. The card reads, "Thank you for the conversation. No expectations. Just gratitude. Daniel." Sophie puts them in a vase on her kitchen counter. They make the small space feel alive. Jason shows up that afternoon. Who's Daniel? He's standing in her doorway uninvited, jaw tight, eyes hard. The CEO mask is back. Excuse me? The flowers. I saw the delivery guy. Who is he? Sophie's anger flares white hot. You don't get to ask me that. I'm still your husband. You're my ex-husband. Legally pending, emotionally done. She moves to close the door. Jason blocks it with his foot. Sophie, please. I'm trying here. I'm doing everything right. Therapy. Changed my schedule. I even stepped back from the board to make more time. For what? For me? I didn't ask you to do that. I know. I'm doing it anyway. Jason's voice drops. Because I love you. Because I can't breathe without knowing you might still. Still what? Take you back? Forget everything? Pretend you didn't maintain an entire second life. Give me a chance to earn your forgiveness. Sophie laughs. It sounds broken. You want a chance? Fine. Tell me about Vanessa. Jason's face pales. Tell me how you met. Tell me what you talked about. Tell me if you loved her. Sophie. Tell me. Her voice echoes in the narrow hallway. A neighbor's door cracks open, then quickly closes. Jason swallows hard. We met at a conference. She was an intern at a rival company. She was young, exciting. She didn't know me as the CEO under pressure. To her, I was just Jason. So you like being anonymous? I like being seen as a person, not a position. Sophie's chest aches. I always saw you as a person. I know. Jason's voice breaks. That's what makes this so much worse. You saw all of me, the good, the bad, the stressed, the failing, and you loved me anyway. And instead of treasuring that, I threw it away for women who only saw my surface. The honesty hits Sophie like a wave. This is what she needed years ago. Raw truth. No spin. No CEO polish. But is it enough? Her phone buzzes. A text from Daniel. There's a jazz night at my favorite spot in the village tomorrow. Would you like to come? Only if you're ready. No pressure. Sophie looks at Jason. Then at her phone. Then at the sunflowers on her counter. 2 paths. 2 men. 1 decision. I need you to leave, Jason. Sophie. I'm not saying never. I'm saying not now. I need space to figure out who I am without you. Can you give me that? Jason's shoulders slump. He nods slowly. How much space? I don't know. Weeks. Months. Maybe forever. Sophie's voice is steady now. But if you keep showing up, keep pushing, keep demanding, you'll lose me for good. The only chance you have is to let me breathe. Jason looks at her for a long moment. Then he turns and walks away. This time he doesn't look back. Sophie closes the door. Leans against it. Picks up her phone. I'd love to. What time? Sophie just opened a door she swore she'd keep closed. But is Daniel the fresh start she needs? Or a rebound that will complicate everything? The jazz club is underground, literally. Sophie descends narrow stairs into a brick-walled space that smells of whiskey and saxophone polish. Daniel waits at a corner table, 2 glasses of bourbon already poured. You came. His smile is warm. Real. Almost didn't. Sophie slides into the seat. The leather is worn, comfortable. Nothing like the pristine restaurants Jason preferred. What changed your mind? Honestly, I'm tired of making decisions based on fear. The band starts, a slow, melancholy piece that fills the space like smoke. Daniel doesn't talk. He listens. His hand rests on the table, close to hers but not touching. Respecting boundaries. Sophie relaxes for the first time in months. They talk during the break. Daniel tells her about his wife, Maria. How they met in college. How she fought cancer for 3 years with grace that humbled him. How he still wears his wedding ring on a chain under his shirt. Does it bother you, he asks, that I'm not over her? No. Sophie touches his hand. It means you know how to love deeply. That's rare. So do you. Daniel's eyes are kind. I can see it. The way you talk about your marriage, even the pain is rooted in how much you gave. I gave too much. Maybe. Or maybe you gave it to someone who wasn't ready to receive it. The words settle over Sophie like a blanket. She thinks of Jason. Of 8 years of loving someone who loved his image more than her truth. Her phone vibrates. She ignores it. It vibrates again. And again. You should check that, Daniel says gently. Sophie pulls out her phone. 12 missed calls from Rachel. Her stomach drops. She calls back. Rachel? What's? It's Jason. Rachel's voice is tight with panic. He's in the hospital. Sophie, they're saying he tried to. The world tilts. Sophie grips the table. Tried to what? His assistant found him in his office. Pills. A lot of pills. They pumped his stomach, but Sophie, they're saying if she'd been 20 minutes later. Sophie can't breathe. The jazz club is too small, too hot, too loud. Which hospital? Mount Sinai. Sophie, I'm so sorry. Sophie hangs up. Looks at Daniel. I have to go. Of course. He's already standing, pulling cash from his wallet for the tab. I'll drive you. You don't have to. Sophie. His voice is firm. You just got devastating news about someone you loved for 8 years. You're not driving. Let me help. The drive to Mount Sinai is silent. Sophie's hands shake in her lap. Her mind races. This is Jason's fault. Another manipulation. Another play for her sympathy. But what if it's not? What if he really tried to? No, she can't think like that. Daniel pulls up to the emergency entrance. Go. I'll park and wait. You don't have to. I know. He squeezes her hand. But Maria taught me something. You show up for people even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Go. Sophie runs inside. The fluorescent lights are brutal. The smell of antiseptic makes her nauseous. She finds the ICU. Rachel is already there pacing. Where is he? Room 412. They're letting family only. I'm still his wife. Legally. On paper. In the eyes of hospitals and law. Sophie pushes through the doors. Finds room 412. Stops. Jason lies in the bed, oxygen tube under his nose, for in his arm, heart monitor beeping steady. His eyes are closed. His face is pale, almost gray. He looks small. Vulnerable. Human. Nothing like the confident CEO who thought he could have everything. Sophie approaches slowly. Sits in the chair beside his bed. Takes his hand. It's cold. You idiot, she whispers. You absolute idiot. Jason's eyes flutter open. He sees her. Tears spill down his temples. Sophie. His voice is rough, damaged from the stomach pump. You came. Of course I came. Her own tears fall now. What did you do, Jason? What the hell did you do? I lost you. His grip tightens on her hand. I lost you and I didn't know how to. So you tried to die? Anger and fear war in her chest. You tried to leave me with that? With the guilt of your death. I wasn't thinking. No. You weren't. Sophie's voice shakes. You were being selfish. Again. Taking the easy way out instead of doing the hard work of living with your consequences. Jason flinches like she slapped him. I left you, Jason. I left. That was my choice. My boundary. My power. Sophie leans forward. And you tried to take even that away by making it about your pain instead of respecting mine. I'm sorry. Jason sobs. I'm so sorry. I love you so much and I don't know how to exist without you. Then learn. Sophie's voice is steel wrapped in tears. Learn how to exist as yourself, not as my husband. Learn how to be whole alone. Because Jason? If you can't do that, you'll never be whole with anyone. A doctor enters. Mrs. Miller? We need to discuss treatment options. Sophie stands. I'm not making decisions for him. He has family. Call his brother. She walks toward the door. Jason calls after her. Sophie, please don't go. Please. She turns. Looks at him one last time. I'll visit. But Jason? This doesn't change anything. You need help. Real help. And I can't be your reason to live. You have to find that yourself. She walks out. Daniel is in the waiting room, 2 coffees in hand. How is he? Alive. Sophie takes the coffee. Her hands are still shaking. And that's all that matters right now. Daniel doesn't ask questions. He just sits beside her while she falls apart in a hospital waiting room, crying for the man who almost destroyed them both. Jason's suicide attempt changes everything. But does nearly dying make him worthy of forgiveness, or is it one more manipulation in a long line of betrayals? Sophie faces an impossible choice: walk away forever or give the broken man another chance. What she decides next will shock you. Sophie visits Jason 3 times during his week-long hospital stay. Each visit is the same: 20 minutes supervised by a psychiatric nurse, boundaries firm as concrete. She doesn't hold his hand. Doesn't make promises. Doesn't let his tears sway her. I'm starting an outpatient program, Jason tells her on the 3rd visit. Intensive therapy. 4 times a week. They're saying I have depression. Clinical. Long-term. That makes sense. Sophie sits across from him, not beside him. Distance matters. Why didn't you see it? I did. Sophie's voice is quiet. I begged you to see someone years ago. You said therapy was for people who couldn't handle pressure. Jason closes his eyes. I was an arrogant asshole. Yes, you were. Am I still? Sophie considers this. You're a man who tried to die instead of facing his failures. That's not arrogance. That's cowardice wrapped in pain. The words are harsh. They need to be. I don't want your pity, Jason. I don't want you to change because you almost died. I want you to change because you want to be better. For yourself. I do want that. Jason looks at her. But I'd be lying if I said you weren't part of why. Then you're still not getting it. Sophie stands. I can't be your reason. I can only be a witness to your growth. Maybe, eventually, a supporter. But never again your purpose. She leaves before he can respond. 2 months later. Sophie's consulting business is thriving. She has 6 clients now, all word-of-mouth referrals. Her studio apartment feels less like a temporary shelter and more like home. She bought plants. Real ones that need care and don't die. She sees Daniel twice a week. Dinner. Movies. Long walks through Brooklyn. He kisses her once, softly, asking permission first with his eyes. It's sweet. Comfortable. But Sophie feels guilty. Why? Rachel asks over brunch. You're divorced? Well, almost. Final papers come through next week. I don't know. It feels too soon. Too soon for what? To be happy? Sophie pushes her eggs around her plate. What if I'm just replacing Jason with Daniel? What if I'm not actually healed? Are you in love with Daniel? Sophie pauses. No, not yet. But I could be. He's kind and present and not Jason. Exactly. Rachel sets down her fork. Sophie, here's the thing about healing. It's not linear. You don't get to check boxes and suddenly be ready for love again. You just live. And if Daniel makes you happy while you're living, that's enough. But what about Jason? What about him? He's really changing, Ratch. I can see it. His therapist sends me updates, with his permission. He's doing the work. He quit drinking. He's on antidepressants. He even started volunteering at a crisis center. Rachel's eyes narrow. And part of me wonders if I'm giving up too soon. Sophie. Rachel reaches across the table. Listen to me. Jason almost died because he couldn't handle losing you. That's not love. That's obsession. An obsession can look like dedication if you squint. The words hit Sophie hard. Give yourself time, Rachel continues. Date Daniel if it feels right. Don't date anyone if that feels better. But stop measuring your healing against Jason's redemption. They're not connected. Sophie nods slowly. Her phone buzzes. A text from Jason, 6 weeks sober from alcohol. Therapy is helping. I'm not asking for anything. Just wanted you to know I'm still trying. Another text. This one from Daniel. Thinking of you. No pressure, just wanted you to know. 2 men. 2 paths. Neither demanding. Both waiting. Sophie puts her phone away. You know what? She says to Rachel. I think I need to stop choosing between them and start choosing myself. Rachel grins. Now you're getting it. Sophie is finally learning that healing isn't about choosing the right man. It's about choosing herself first. But when Jason makes one final gesture that proves he's truly changed, Sophie faces the hardest decision of all. The envelope arrives on a Tuesday. Heavy cream paper. Sophie's name in Jason's handwriting. She almost throws it away. But curiosity wins. Inside, divorce papers. Signed. Notarized. Dated yesterday. And a letter. Sophie, I'm signing these papers because I love you. Not because I want to. Not because I'm giving up. But because you deserve the freedom to choose your life without me hovering in the margins. My therapist asked me what I would do if loving you meant letting you go. I didn't have an answer then. I do now. I let you go. You were right about everything. I needed to learn to be whole alone. I'm not there yet. Maybe I never will be completely. But I'm trying. 4 months sober. Therapy 3 times a week. I'm sleeping better. Eating better. I even laugh sometimes. I think I'm becoming someone I might actually like. I don't know if that person deserves you. Probably not. But I wanted you to know he exists because of you. Because leaving me forced me to see myself clearly. And what I saw was ugly and broken and desperately in need of change. So thank you. For loving me when I didn't deserve it. For leaving me when I needed it. For being brave enough to choose yourself. I'm setting you free. Completely. No more visits. No more texts. No more updates through lawyers. You want space? You have it. Forever if that's what you need. But if someday, maybe years from now, you find yourself wondering if I ever became the man you deserved, you can find me. I'll be here. Working on being worthy of that question. All my love, Jason. P.S. I transferred the consulting fees you refused. Your business account. It's the money you earned supporting my career. Consider it 8 years of back pay. You've earned it. Sophie reads the letter 3 times. Each time, her chest tightens with something that feels like grief and relief mixed together. He's letting her go. Really letting her go. She checks her business account. $400,000 deposited. Enough to expand her business. Hire staff. Maybe even open an office. Her phone rings. Daniel. Hey, I was thinking. He stops. You okay? You sound weird. Jason signed the divorce papers. Silence. Then, how do you feel? I don't know. Sophie sits on her couch. The new one she bought herself, soft gray instead of the white leather Jason preferred. Free? Sad? Grateful? All of it? That's normal. Daniel's voice is gentle. Endings are complicated even when they're right. Can I ask you something? Always. Why are you so patient with me? We've been seeing each other for 3 months and I still can't commit. Still can't say I love you back when you say it? Most men would have left by now. Daniel laughs softly. Sophie, I lost my wife. I know what real love looks like. And I know it doesn't run on schedules. You're healing. I'm willing to wait. If you decide it's me, great. If you decide it's not, I'll survive. But rushing you helps no one. Sophie's eyes well up. You're too good. No. I'm just a man who learned that love isn't possession. It's presence. And I'm happy to be present in your life however you need me. They talk for another hour. About nothing important. About everything important. When Sophie hangs up, she sits in the silence of her apartment. The sunflowers Daniel sent last week are wilting. The divorce papers sit on her coffee table. Her life is spread out before her like an open road. For the first time in 8 years, Sophie doesn't know where she's going. And that feels perfect. She picks up her laptop. Opens a new document. Starts typing. Chapter 1. The Art of Starting Over. Maybe she'll write a book. About marriages that end. About women who leave. About finding yourself in the rubble of broken promises. Or maybe she'll just live her life. Day by day. Choice by choice. Free. 6 months pass like water. Sophie's business expands. She hires 2 employees. Rents an office in Manhattan, not far from Jason's company, but that doesn't matter anymore. She's built something that's entirely hers. Daniel proposes on a Tuesday. Casual. No grand gesture. Just them on her couch watching old movies and he says, "Marry me." Or don't. But no, I'm here either way. Sophie doesn't answer immediately. Not because she doesn't love him, she does, quietly and steadily like a fire that never goes out. But because she needs to close one door before opening another. She calls Jason's number. The one she never deleted. He answers on the 3rd ring. Sophie? His voice is careful. Surprised. Are you free for coffee? They meet at the same Soho coffee shop where they first met 10 years ago. The irony isn't lost on either of them. Jason looks different. Lighter. His hair is longer, less corporate. He's wearing jeans and a sweater instead of a suit. There's color in his face. You look good, Sophie says. So do you. Jason smiles. It's genuine. I heard about your business. Your Instagram is impressive. You follow me? I promise space. I didn't promise indifference. His smile is sad. I'm proud of you, sophomore. The old nickname hits her chest. But it doesn't hurt. I wanted to see you before I give Daniel an answer. Jason's face doesn't change. He proposed? Yes. Are you going to say yes? Sophie looks at her ex-husband. The man who destroyed her. The man who's rebuilt himself from ashes. I don't know. That's why I'm here. You want my blessing? Jason's voice cracks. Sophie, you don't need. No. I want honesty. Do you still love me? The question hangs between them. Jason takes a breath. Every day. But loving you doesn't mean having you. I learned that the hard way. And if I asked you to try again? Right now? Jason's eyes fill with tears. I'd say no. Sophie's breath catches. What? I'd say no, Jason repeats, stronger now. Because you deserve someone who's been healthy all along. Someone who never had to almost die to appreciate you. Someone like Daniel. He reaches across the table, touches her hand once. I love you enough to let you be happy. Even if it's not with me. Sophie feels something break and heal simultaneously in her chest. Thank you, she whispers. For what? For becoming the man I needed you to be. Even if it's too late for us. They sit in silence, drinking coffee, watching the city move around them. When they part, Jason hugs her. Be happy, Sophie. That's all I ever wanted. I was just too stupid to know how. Sophie walks to Daniel's apartment. He opens the door, searching her face. Yes, she says. My answer is yes. Daniel pulls her close. She smells like coffee and new beginnings. Behind her, the past settles into memory. Ahead, the future waits. And Sophie? Sophie finally feels whole. Sophie chose herself first, and that made all the difference. Sometimes love means letting go. Sometimes it means starting over. And sometimes the happy ending isn't about getting back what you lost, but discovering what you never knew you needed. If this story touched you, subscribe and share with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to choose yourself.